everybody out there, this is Popular Stranger, and we are back at you again today with another Madden 16 tips video. In today's video, we're going to be working with the Cincinnati Bengals Offensive Playbook, and I'm going to go over some plays that will help you beat the cover 3 zone. Now, it's not as popular as it was in this year's game as it was in Madden 15, but it's still something that you're going to come across online. There's a lot of guys out there that like to just sit in cover 3 and user control their defensive line just to rush the passer. And these are the easiest guys to abuse with some of these plays because the zone can be manipulated. And I got about 4 to 5 plays that we're going to run. So the first one is out of the gun split slot formation. It's called slot flood. And a familiar concept against a lot of cover 3 zones is to flood one side of the field. So we're just going to run it against a standard cover 3. Now our first read is going to be Chris Johnson, which is our R1 running back. The next read will be John Brown, which usually is going to get open, but you just have to have a little patience in the pocket, and that's our X receiver. The only adjustment I tend to make is I like to block Andre Ellington, our number 1 halfback, just to give ourselves a little bit of time to make the throw. So I'm going to go ahead and hike it, and as you can see, you can go right here to your halfback. The only issue with that is that you're not going to always get a ton of yardage. Sometimes you will, sometimes you won't. It just kind of depends how the computer plays it. But what you really want to look for is that X receiver right there. And I would suggest doing a possession catch just because it's near the sideline. You want to make sure you get those feet in bounds. But you really just want to watch that one cornerback that's sitting right there around the 40-yard line and make sure he goes towards the running back. Once he does, you're going to have a wide open receiver. As you see, John Brown was wide open. And it's good to have somebody who has good route running. This is for all my Madden Ultimate Team players. You want somebody who has good route running and good speed because you can get some kind of yards after catch. And this play will also work very, very well against man coverage as well. You just want to kind of read. It's like a 2-man game. It's kind of like basketball, like a pick and roll. You want to watch Chris Johnson. If he has enough space, you make the throw over to him. Sometimes if you make it early, you can rack catch it and turn upfield. Again, you want somebody who has good speed, good acceleration. But you kind of just want to watch him, and if he's covered, if he's not open, then you go to your second option, which is going to be X. We'll run it one last time. I'm going to rack catch it there, stay in bounds, and make a juke. And this play will eat up the defense. We'll run it one last time just so you guys can get familiar with it. And like I always say, you want to go practice these things in practice mode just to get a feel for it and make sure that you know what you're doing when you get on the field. So the next play that we're going to run has the same type of concept. This one's out of the gun normal Y-flex tight formation. I know that's a lot of words, but the play is called tight end sail. It's the top option up here on the screen, and it's very, very similar to the reads that you want to make as far as who you're going to pass it to. Same as the last play we just ran. So primarily you're going to look at Andre Ellington first, and if he goes uncovered or if you see the linebackers kind of play off him, you want to look for Jermaine Gresham, who's going to make a nice cut to the outside and then back inside towards the sideline. I'm sorry, to the inside, then the outside towards the sideline. And this will usually beat man coverage as well. So if you see the linebacker drop that far back, you want to go to your halfback, just hit the square button to rack catch that and try to turn it upfield. But if you have enough time in the pocket, you can usually look for your tight end who's going to be wide open once that cornerback, as you can see, kind of went towards the halfback because he was open, and that's his zone that he's reading. Then it leaves the tight end wide open. So this one takes a little more time in the pocket, and you want to possession catch that one as well because, once again, it's along the sidelines. You want to be careful there to not rack catch it because you'll end up out of bounds with an incomplete pass. That time we had a little more room to work with, so I was able to rack catch it and turn it upfield and get some extra yardage. But if you have enough time in the pocket, and again, you can go to R1 pretty quickly there and eat up some nice yards. If you have a shifty back like LaShawn McCoy, like a Chris Johnson, like a Jamal Charles, you'll be able to turn that into a first down rather quickly. But if you have the time in the pocket, I would just wait on the tight end to get himself open because it's going to give you a bigger play downfield. We'll run it one last time, let that defense suck down, and there is our tight end wide open. The third play we're going to run is a nice shot play downfield against a cover 3 defense. Now, I want to say this before we actually run it. It doesn't work all the time. This is by no means a money play, but it's something that you may be able to attack once or twice a game, and it's good for a big play downfield when you see your opponent sitting in cover 3. So it's out of the gun, trips, Y ISO formation, and it's play action deep outs. And we're just going to go against another cover 3 zone here, as we'll just go against this one here in the 4-3. And there's 2 adjustments we have to make. Number 1, we want to streak out Michael Floyd, which is our X receiver. And then we're not actually going to run the play action, so we want to block Andre Ellington, because this is a big shot downfield. You need a little bit of time in the pocket. Sometimes you kind of want to move your quarterback to the left, so we're going to go ahead and run it here just to buy some time in the pocket. And once John Brown gets past that guy, which there's usually a lot more space, he gets wide open, and this right side of the field is just money. Let's see if we can run it again. Now, you need to practice this in practice mode, get a good feel for it. I'm actually going to slide protect to the left as well, just to see if I can have a little more time in the pocket, because you see his route does get bumped, and unfortunately that's why this play isn't perfect. But when it works, it works. As you can see, wide open downfield. We'll go ahead and run it one more time, but this is a good end of the half, or if you just catch a guy just sitting in cover 3 being lazy, calling the same exact play numerous times because it's worked for him earlier in the game. As you can see, if you have enough time, you get that throw off. If you have a receiver like John Brown who has tons and tons of speed, it's a game breaker. I love to run it with Amari Cooper. I love to run it with DeAndre Hopkins. It's just a magnificent play, but it doesn't work all the time. Once he clears past that zone, and I threw that ball a little too hard. I should have floated it up a little more, but once he clears past that zone, that little bump that the linebacker gives him, he's usually wide open. It's just a matter of when he does it. That time he kind of didn't, but the safety jumped over there and played it. Good interception. The last play that we're going to run in today's video is out of the single back Y trips formation, and it's called double China. There are quite a few hot routes and changes that we have to make to this play, so as all of the other ones, you guys want to make sure you go practice this in practice mode. But the first thing we're going to do is send Larry Fitzgerald, which is our circle receiver, out on a streak, and then we're going to put John Brown in a flat route. And we're going to be looking for Jermaine Gresham along the sidelines. The concept here is that we want the defense to come down to Brown because he's going to be sitting in that flat route. And once they do, Fitzgerald's going to clear out the cornerback, and there's going to be a nice little pocket there around the 40 to 50 yard line where we can find Jermaine Gresham. Like I said in the beginning of the video, any type of zone, or actually cover 3 zone, you really want to flood one side of the field, make that zone have to commit to certain receivers, and then once they do, there's usually an opening. You can also block your halfback just to give you a little extra time, and you do want a tight end that has good route running. As you can see, there's a nice little hole open up in the field, and it's just money against cover 3. Now, there are a lot of other plays in this playbook. I just want to point this out. This is the last one that we're going to run today, but there are a lot of other plays in this playbook, bad pass by me right there, that we're going to have videos for. This is the playbook that I primarily use online, so these aren't the only plays that I run out of it, and we might even make a part 2 of how to beat cover 3 with this playbook. But you guys can expect a ton of mini schemes coming from me out of the Bengals playbook very, very soon. So this is just kind of a brief start to it. We're going to go ahead and show you some of these plays run online after I run it once more time here, just so you can see them work in a real head-to-head environment. The first play example that we're going to take a look at in a head-to-head game is the slot flood. There you see when we run it, we take what the defense gives us, dump it off to the halfback, but the next 2 times that we run it, we're going to wait for that zone defender to commit to the halfback, and by doing that, it leaves your receiver wide open. As you can see, you can get some yards after the catch. We'll run it one last time. Again, the defender commits towards the halfback. Wide open is DeAndre Hopkins. He gets some yards after the catch. Great play. Next up, same concept, tight end sail. You just want to watch for the zone defender to put his attention towards the halfback. Once he does so, your tight end is wide open. If you're against the sideline, remember to possession catch it so you don't find yourself running out of bounds. We'll run it one more time, and there it is. Money every time against cover 3. We'll run double China next. Same concept, a little different. The zone defender just kind of sits there and watches over the halfback, and by doing so, they kind of ignore the tight end. This is a great play in the red zone. As you can see, we get an easy touchdown. And then lastly, the big play downfield. Again, keep in mind this doesn't work 100% of the time, but when it does work, it has huge big play ability. Just remember the hot routes, blocking your halfback, sending the one receiver on a streak, frees up DeAndre Hopkins right here, right before halftime. We get 6 on the board, and then we'll run it one last time. It's pretty much always a touchdown once you run it, once the receiver gets open. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it useful. Thanks for watching. Peace!